Okay, so what's up, Red Titan? I haven't done any collection updates for a long time, and most of you guys don't know who I am, so that's totally cool. But I've kind of taken a break for a little bit from collecting, but I've added a couple pieces here and there, some mostly comic, but some prints, and I've moved some stuff around. So I figured I'd give an update sort of on my office slash sort of collector's room. But yeah, so first off, this is coming into the office here. Got a couple prints here. This is Mitch Gerard's piece from Mr. Miracle that I had him sign and personalize with Dark Side Is. If you haven't read Mr. Miracle, highly recommend it. This is a piece from it's actually not a Mondo piece, but I can't remember. I don't know, it's a Tom Taylor. Anyway, if you can pick out the difference between the characters there, that's kind of the joke. So that's kind of cool. But anyway, I love that piece. And then this is a print I've had for a long time. I'm probably gonna replace this in a little bit, but I always thought it was kind of a cool little thing. So anyway, got some other pieces I gotta get framed up. This was from San Diego Comic-Con a few years ago. Simone Bianchi, I think that's how you pronounce his name. But I love this piece. It's pretty limited, and I had him remark that as well. Yeah, love his surfer, really cool. So this is a sideshow piece from a few years back too, which I'm sure some of you guys are familiar with. And then this is a Dustin Nguyen, one of my favorite artists. This was back at Emerald City Comic Con in like 2012, maybe. It's a long time ago. So yeah, he hasn't had this piece for a long time, but yeah, I love that print. I love that Rogues Gallery. So kind of reminds me of that new XM piece that's coming out. And then this is the actual office itself. So some of you guys might have seen this before in other Facebook pages and things. So it hasn't changed dramatically. I've just sort of moved some things around, try to make it a little bit less cluttered. So yeah, just got a couple fun things here and there. I'm from Toronto originally, so I'm a Leafs guy, so kind of dotted a little bit of that throughout the room here. But as far as pieces goes, I moved some stuff in and out, and I think I've got like 27 or something now at this point, so I'm not really sure. I haven't counted in a little bit, but yeah. So anyway, I've done a lot of collecting of when I go to cons, get artists to do actual art prints, and this is a print of Hawkeye from Bradstreet, and I got that at Comic-Con a few years ago. This is from Matthew Walsh, doing Defenders. That was a fun one. He'd never drawn the Defenders before, so that was kind of neat. It's a Mondo print of Daredevil. That's the regular Mondo print, Man Without Fear, and yeah, I really like that print. The yellow was the variant, but not as much of a fan of that one, so it didn't match the statue. So you guys are familiar with these guys. So a couple more custom pieces of art. This one was by Murat Michaels from one of my favorite runs on X-Force. This was David Mack. I had this done at C2E2 last year, and then this was Alex Maleev, who did this for me at 2017. What was that? That was 2 years ago. So yeah, and then this is the Surfer. You guys know that one. This is another Mondo piece. This is the variant. That's more the stark red color, which I really like, and kind of goes well with the PF from a few years ago. And then yeah, had a couple more pieces done here. This is done by the great Todd Knock at Arizona, or Phoenix Arizona. It's no longer around anymore, but it's changed names. But he did that for me back in 2014, I want to say. So yeah, this one was Black Panther, obviously, Iron Man, and The Thing. The Thing was done by Brian Stelfreeze at C2E2 a couple years ago. This was a piece done by the great Bob Layton, and then I had Bernard Chang do this for me, which is pretty incredible actually, because he actually did the back of this too. So it's actually a wraparound cover So it's kind of a shame because you know, it probably should be displayed open like that, but I didn't wanted to protect it, and it's graded, but it's graded as an art piece, which I kind of like that CBCS does that. Because to be honest, you know, as you can see here, like getting a 9.2 on the book. It's also signed by Jonathan Hickman, which is kind of neat because he was there at the con as well. But so the book's not as in perfect shape, but really the art is the thing. And actually, Stelfreeze, I think he did. Let's see if I can find here. He wrapped this around too, actually, with his hand. Yeah, so that's kind of cool. So anyway, yeah, pretty neat. So, oh, I got a sad boy here. Oh, okay. What's going on, Clark? No, okay. My son's not happy. Mommy just left. And then got some turtles over here, EX set with the Jock print from San Diego Comic-Con, and had Eastman sign this, which is kind of neat, and love that print. Huge fan of Jock. Couple of variants over here. One done by Eastman for that Batman crossover they did. This was the Humberto Ramos variant. That was the hard to get variant, and then Eastman did his typical remark on there as well. This was the Mattina. It's hard to see with the reflection, so I don't know if the light helps at all with that. Probably not. Maybe. Anyway, it's a beautiful, beautiful cover. Mattina variant there. So I know a bunch of people on here, Mattina fans. And then this was a piece that I got done by Peter Nguyen. Sorry, I didn't get it done. It was one of the lithos he had at a con that I was at, and I just love his take and his style. And Peter's super talented, so I thought that was kind of cool to have a Robin piece here. And then Jock, that's Dick Grayson from one of the best runs in comics, done with Scott Snyder, Black Mirror. And then this was another Jock piece, obviously, from Forbidden Planet, though. And this was obviously the Dark Knight 3 cover from #1, which is obviously here. This is just the black and white sketch variant. And then a couple Dark Knight 3 variants. We've got the Great Delato variant there, which is sort of the reverse. You can sort of see, like, they kind of, Prime 1 used the reverse image of this cover, which is kind of neat. So, and I like how it's kind of good. You can barely see it, but the red on the blood on his fist. So that's kind of cool. And standing over the gang leader. And then I've got this one as a kind of neat piece. This is the Jim Lee variant, the 1 in 500. Was pretty rare at the time. Now it's kind of easier to get, but the rarity of this is that I got, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of the 7 total credited creators on the book. I'm missing Brad Anderson, and that's it on that one. So if I can try to get that one again, if anybody knows if anything's are coming up with him, let me know, because I'd love to get him on the book. This is a really special piece for me. This is a Jason Fabok original. Jason doesn't do really any prints. If you look on his website, all his original stuff is very expensive. He's been primarily a cover artist. He did a run on Justice League for a little while and the Dark Side War, but his art is incredible. I think he's probably the most talented artist since Jim Lee, and I know that's probably a big thing to say, but he's kind of a combo of Jim Lee and David Finch. So, and obviously I got a bunch of omnibuses as well. I collect all that, and large format books, and I've got my Justice League here. That's a Mondo print back there. That's JC or JP Richard. That's an AP print of Fortress of Solitude. You can barely see it, but Superman's kind of taken off in the corner up there. So yeah, I love that piece, but I might move that one out. My son's name is Clark, so I might move that one into his room and replace that with like I'd love to get one of those Justice League Alex Ross pieces if I could. And then yeah, so I've got a mixture of XM and Sideshow for my Avengers setup over here. Just used a couple strip lights, so it's nothing crazy. And yeah, I was happy to sort of put these all together. Kind of like it's a mixture, but mostly sort of the old school costumes, which is kind of neat. So it kind of works well together. I've had kind of a couple different variants of each of these characters, but I think this kind of works really well. And then this is the yeah, Helicarrier from from Avengers from the movie set, and took a while to put. I actually have the motors in there that actually spin the rotors, which is kind of cool. And then one of my prize pieces here, met Stan at a con, had this signed by him. Shouldn't have gone with PGX, but what are you gonna do? It is what it is. So anyway, RIP. And yeah, a couple cool pieces down here too, real quick. Obviously, first appearance of Justice League, and then some other Jock pieces down here. Obviously, this one, pretty famous cover. It's 880, signed by Jock. So, and then the one in, I want to say 500 variant of Snyder and Capullo's run, signed by all three on there, including Jonathan Glapion. I think that's how you say his name. And then, yeah, this one more recently, the Sean Murphy exclusive, signed and remarked by him. So, Lego Batmobile here, some of the more recent specialty Hot Wheels, which are kind of cool. This one's kind of neat. This was done as a combo piece between Jim Chung and Peter Nguyen. They were sitting next to each other, so I had them do a combo, which is kind of cool. And then finishing up, some more of the sort of newer Hot Wheels pieces. Sorry if there's glare, but I thought these were kind of neat. So I like what Hot Wheels does when they do their specialty cars. Got my couch here, and then the sort of last little section, more of like my cosmic, and I don't know, there's really no theme, to be honest. It's more space than anything else. Yeah, Black Bolt and Doctor Strange. Actually had, this is a Doctor Strange done by the great Adi Granov this past year, so it actually works really well with the XM piece. And then this is a really special Mondo. This was I had this signed in person by Stan Lee last year at C2E2. It was the last time I saw him, and so pretty special. And got the whole Stan Lee thing down there and everything, and yeah, really like this. It kind of sort of chronicles when each Avenger was added. So anyway, my kid's freaking out. Last little thing here is sort of where I keep my single issues and the extra stuff that I haven't framed up yet, some Mondo pieces, and kind of slowly adding some extra stuff on here that I like. So anyway, yeah, and if you're wondering what that beast is, it's last year's top of the line LG OLED, the 55-inch, which is incredible. So if you can get it at a deal, I highly recommend it. And I'm rocking a PS4 Pro there. So, and just currently finishing up Red Dead Redemption 2. So anyway, this was a super long video, but hope you guys enjoyed, and have a good one.